Well. What do we have here? We have another follow-up diss track from Hitman Holla going at Jazz. Now, I told y'all before he was never going to be able to claim 20v1. If you had Lux, Jazz, Eazy, Mook, if everybody would turn around and drop a track on Holly, can't do that. Oh, they ganging up. Can't do that because he dropped Letter to the Culture Part 2 and he took shots at all of them. Jazz responded. Jazz's track was kind of dope too. Jazz, I liked it. I would have loved to see a visual. I keep the same standard for everybody. All of our all-time greats, top tiers, goats, god tiers, all that. I keep the same standard. True foe. Everybody got the same standard, right? But Jazz's shit was dope, man. It was. And as we continue to watch the Lux and the Holla thing play out, will we get a response from Lux? Lux's lives, pretty much in interviews addressing the back and forth with Holla. People were wondering, like, is that it? Because he even referenced swamp in the joint. He said, I got bigger fish in the swamp to fry right now. Like, I'm focused on Lux. And Lux halted. He said, nah, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? We got to do a Swiss Beats versus if we're going to continue right now, or book the battle, send the contract. So Holla does what? Turns towards Jazz. Interesting. Jazz. We're going to go through this right here and see if you need to respond ASAP and how bad this is. I don't know, man. Let's go. What's with all this blue? What's going on with all this? Let me tell you something, man. There are people that can claim, their kingship to the blue room. Of course, I'm one of them. Ill Will is hell. Ill Will's Twitter is Blue Room Illy. Holla's one of them. Could lay a claim to it. There's people that, that blue room, they caught serious wreck in there. And it shall be all time memorialized by people like me. But when I see the blue like this, man, for all people, Holla, what are you up to? The Let Me Know sample. Now I get the title. Okay, all right. We on some R&B shit. Oh, and it's for a girl. Is that the angle of this right here? The R&B sample because you dissing a woman, a female. What we doing here? I caught the sample. Now I'm catching on to the title. Okay, I'm a little. He changed the color to the blue soon as he said that. Come on with the bullshit. Did it go from black and white to blue? So he's permanent things that she's known for. That was another good one. He's sprinkling in some nice little punches and little reference. Not talking about official and coffee. He's talking about official and jazz because official clear jazz on stage until they get all official. I'm going to like the violent references and all that. Now he's not talking about official and coffee. Oh yeah. That was one of them. That was one of them. We got battles. Jazz got one of those too. Isn't it versus 40 bars where we show up to watch two titans and somebody just gets dragged? It's not about how great of a battle rapper you are. That's the conversation that I had about Lux versus Holla and how these styles make fights. Jazz is an all-time great, capable of beating anybody damn near, right? But there's something about the way they both approached that battle with her and official snapped on her. Same way she did to 40 bars, so is that an Eazy The Block Papoose reference? Because he went like this when he said, hold on, I take that laugh back. Because you're doing a little New Yorkish shots there, maybe. I don't know. Jazz, it don't have to be New York. Maybe I'm reaching because Jazz always do the whole, what scuff my Timbs. But the Lux, you drag, it feel a little New York shottish. I don't know. It easily could be referenced just for Lux and Jazz, but hold on, man. The Nixon 5 shit and all that. Hold on, man. Slow this shit down a second. I gotta interpret this the right way. Oh, Holla kind of turned up at that. I'm not talking about his vocal projection or his energy, so to speak. The angle. We was joking this whole time. This nigga then turned it into like a real angle, like trying to talk some shit like, yo. Now that's like one of them angles that fans would be like they expect to see on the stage. That's that was heavy. We was playing around. It was playful, having a good time, good song, good. He was flowing on it, good beat, good visuals, and all that. He went in a talking some shit at the end, like something that could make people feel rubbed the wrong with Jazz. Now I feel like you have to respond. I'm watching this like, yo, it's all fun and games. And this is still competitive and fun and games. I think that they really, really fuck with each other. But that angle at the end, putting that there like that is just, it makes people question one's loyalty and principles. Like, that's a serious topic. Whether I'm not reaching it. I'm not overblowing it. I'm not overdoing that shit. Like, that's a serious topic that I think he tried to put as an angle on the table for Jazz. So Jazz, respond. That's a stage one right there. But all right. Even before playing it, I was looking around on social media and looking at some reactions. This is one that I peeped before the stream cut on. Shout out to Danny Myers. I saw this one. This says, I see Danny Myers, sheesh. I see Sue Surf says, Hitman low key step it. And then I see Danny Myers reply to that saying, high key. Hitman posted his joint right here. See all the playful shit, and then you're gonna turn up like that at the end. Tell Jazz Hitman said, "Hey," with the heart emojis. Y'all niggas is fucking sick. And then this one right here. Oh, shout out to T, says Hitman don't miss, and he asks me and Danny. Danny says he whooped on Lux and Jazz. This is coming from Danny Myers. Says he is in a different creative mindset as of late. I'm curious to see if he completes the hat trick with the swamp disc. Hitman is dangerous right now. Yikes. Man, listen. That shit like that, I'm not even on the Jazz and Hitman shit when I read shit like that. I'm thinking about like just my opinion and my position on getting disses on beat and getting virtual battles in between the stage, or for things that will never go to the stage, just content, just good, clean competition. Whether you look at like what Jay Mills has been doing and other people that stepped into the lane, if we can just get a lot of that during the year, it would turn up and add a lot of energy to the battle rap culture. A lot of content, a lot of discussions, a lot of grudges, a lot of back and forths, a lot. Anyway, but when I see that, it's just so because Holla don't battle that often. You know what I'm saying? Once, twice, if we're lucky, a year, and there's years that he goes a whole year, and for him to, like what Danny said, you got the Lux thing. Most people will chalk that away and say, like, it's Lux and Hitman. They both have something to gain from that. That's the way they'll look at that. Then they'll say Hitman and Jazz. Well, Jazz is a GOAT as well. Won a Wodie and all that. Matter of fact, she won multiple Wodies, right? We don't want to hear that use board shit. That's Jazz, nigga. You had to respond. Cool. Swamp is one of them guys, but from a draw and a tiering standpoint and all that, like, there's battle rappers I know would sidestep that and not even take a shot or not even open the door to be dissed by somebody like that. And they would use that typical excuse, man, I ain't got time for that. I don't need that. Who are you? I don't need that. You're not on my level, all that type of shit. And matter of fact, it gives me this is random. I didn't plan this. This is random. I'm calling these thoughts to mind right now. Some people are calling out Eazy for doing that with Kid Slade. And I've always obviously never believed in the whole you're not of a certain stature or blah blah blah. I invented blood, sweat, and tears in 2014. I never believe. I came in screaming that in interviews and in trailers. Fast forward all these years later, I'm the same person. So to me, it's about the talent, it's about the stature, it's about the matchup, and especially if the fans want it. Now, if it's like, oh, I don't think that caliber person could draw a certain amount of money to battle me, then if you got to talk business, you got to talk business. I think Surf tried that angle a little bit with Cortez and JC for a certain amount of time, right? He had a face-off. Was it NHB Mills asked him a question about a certain battle or opponent that people wanted to see him in there with instead? It's like a Roy Jones or Floyd Mayweather's gone through that in their careers too. Like, what do you battle? I'm battling. What are you fighting this guy for when we want to see you with Pacquiao? With like same type of shit. And that face off with Surf, I think he was talking about like the drawability ability of like the Cortezes or the JCs at the time. You know, fast forward as battles continue to run out, budgeting and URL change, whatever, needing some type of flash and still relying on Surf to be a big draw and put a crowd in the building. Then you start doubling back and doing matchups like that. You know what? Let's do the JC. Let's do the Cortez. Fuck it. You know, so to see Holla going back and forth, if he drops one now on Swamp, you know, that is showing competitive nature. And I'm not trying to target Lux in this and nothing like that. Once again, shout out to Lux. If y'all saw me on 3 Letter Man, we got a dope interview. Go check that out. It's on the PSA radio channel, y'all. You know, I had a lot of good things and respect to send in Lux's direction. You know what I mean? But that's me. I'm consistent with that. You know, like seeing Holla do it, I'm just like, that's dope. You know, and I have a similar expectation for Lux and many other god tiers of goats or whatever, or big drawing guys like you diss Cassidy, he might drop 10 songs on you. You know, Holla, I had that expectation of Lux, you know what I'm saying? So, but it looks like we might not get it, and I'm fine with that too. It's all good. If Holla then spins towards Swamp, cool. Jaz needs to respond. Would Holla then respond to Jaz? I think Holla's more of a guy that'll see what you say, how impactful your joint is. If it's something that he feels like I want to address or whatever. So if you're gonna get a response, you know, it'll be because you came with a tough joint. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not just when somebody's bored. You're like, yeah, when your pen is moving, like Danny said, when your pen is moving, your pen is moving. When you're in a certain bag, you're in a certain bag. But it's not, you know, open field day. Like anybody shoot at me, you get a response. It's got to be worth it. You know what I'm saying? So as long as everybody's on the A game, we might continue to get this energy. So I think it's dope. I think it's dope. All right, continuing on that. Speaking on Holla and Luck, shout out to Battle Rap Dose. I did see that they put up a Twitter poll. It says, do you think Loaded Lux should have responded to Hitman Holla's second diss track? 57% say yes, 43% say no. So the 43%, almost half. It's pretty even. You know, difference of 7%. You know, people that listen to Lux's response and say, "Nah, I get it," or "I understand where you're coming from," and then people that's looking at Holla's side and saying like, "This is just competitive on beat. We might be getting ahead of ourselves by trying to force a battle right now. It doesn't happen that fast. Doesn't happen that easy." Either way, I feel like many fans out there, they just want their content. They want to see greats go back and forth, and we'll take what we can get. And if it's going to be high level, high quality, this is on beat, so be it. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, dope to see. Speaking of Danny, I got 2 more quick battle rap topics, and then we're gonna move on to Sorry It's True. Speaking of Danny Myers, let's show some love to Danny, man. He's been out there working. I think this is one of his first ones of his series that we're playing up here on the channel and doing a live reaction to it. This is a first listen. He's probably got like 20 of these done before. I played some of them before, like on Twitter, but we've never brought any up here on the streams. So shout out to Danny. Bars from Mars, Reborn, week 11. So you're doing these weekly. That's dope. You know, people like Danny don't run out of fucking bars, man. Featuring new music from Scotty. Shout out to Scotty too. All right, let's go. Let's see what Danny talking about on this one. Week 11.
Another week of me getting busy. Thank y'all for sticking with me, because y'all know I've been killing these verses better than Pretty Ricky. It'll be 2Ks because you talking like your crew is thorough. There's some shit you don't want to see, like Supergirl. They ain't check you niggas' backgrounds.
I like the B2K transition that you did off of the Pretty Ricky shit.
But you claiming you nice, niggas be snitching like it's the thing to do, right? Niggas used to tell for the kicks like a kangaroo fight. I took this fame to new heights, but I always got a pistol. I be a...
Used to tell how they stand on like their tail when they kick and shit. Oh, what makes somebody's mind come up with punches like that? Fucking Danny, man.
Every step like Apocalypto, a Glockalyph, bro. I keep a dangerous toy. Death is something you niggas can't avoid. I rap about comic books, aliens. I still flame your boy. I could be a nerd.
So he's giving me my answer right there.
Nerd and a beast. I'm Hank McCoy. I remember the truth.
I like that. I like that.
of 92, Crips and Bloods had a real union. It's like Trump and Iran. Niggas was talking about peace, but still shooting. I still do this for the homies on the pod spazzing. I'm still heard about the homie Rod passing. His scale had more weight on it than an AZ and Nas album. The illest rappers to ever exist, God has them.
That's not the P. He said AZ, and is that the Do or Die? Is that the Do or Die album? I'm just testing myself. I'm pretty sure it's the Do or Die. I think it is.
They wrote raps you could believe. Pac, Biggie, Pun, Big L. I got them tatted on the sleeve. I embody they consciousness becoming one with the pen.
remember when Danny and Swave battled in that wild, crazy, epic third round that Swave dropped. And Swave had a ball about Big L. And then Danny, he started talking to the crowd, pointing to his tattoos. I got Big L tatted on my arm. I got Big L. But it was a whole Harlem angle that Swave was doing. It's like, you said you the king of Harlem. How dare you? That whole shit. And then, but you battling him in the midst of that angle. And then you got the Harlem guy tattooed on you. So it's just like, it just lined up bad for that moment. It's just like, like, Danny, you shouldn't even show the camera that. But nah, that made me think like he's had that shit all these years. He's a hip hop head. It's Danny, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a true hip hop head, man. You gotta respect it.
And that's why when I face you rappers, you can never get under my skin. My niggas don't play about they bread. You know how greedy they get over 20.
That's why when I face you rappers, the ink and under my skin, that's all scheming in the tattoo, but the face.
$20, they'll lock them doors like GTA 6. It's not a game. Play the homies like a Beretta I took. You keep pressing they buttons, then a weapon pop up. You think your threats will stop us? You in your own world, wise guy. My niggas willing to die over a loud pack like my homegirl Ty. I won't apologize. I do this for the Western brothers, because I don't know none of you niggas like the XXL freshman cover. I load the magazine. I'm ready to go to war with cats. Can't hide from me.
And they did it again, like after talking about the cover of the mag, and then said I load the magazine. Like little small transitions like that. Like I like little small details. Respect it.
We kicking in the front door if it warrants that. More bars every fucking Friday, every week. Danny Myers.
Oh, hold on. I don't know about that beat here. Is that the end of it? I think so. Shout out to Scotty too. Be careful with the music. Yo, Danny, good shit, man. Good shit. That was a real first watch right here with y'all. And knowing that it was gonna look like what I've seen on Twitter, it made me think back to when we were doing our social distance, man. Danny is not new to this. Okay. This one right here is 6 years ago. This was during COVID. Danny Myers versus Jay Murda, social distance on RBE, when we was all locked inside and we were still putting out dope cards. You know what I mean? Shout out to Danny on this one too.
Social distancing to try to slow the spread in this country.
You be burping in niggas' faces, being disrespectful, you let a drum pop. Well, you can expect a bullet at any second like Young Chop, gun cock, point blank in his face. I shoot the weapon. The fire kicking his stash like ARP shoe collection. I'm running through your section, through your front door.
Yeah, I haven't put out any kick collection pictures in a long time. But back then, that was just a current event. Like it was talked about a little bit on social media because I was always showing on my Instagram, and I was doing it in blogs too, new pickups. I'd be doing a blog, and like towards the end of the blog, I would just pull a bunch of sneakers that I had just picked up on camera and shit. So that was a dope current event for Danny. But the Young Chop shit, the waiting for a bullet at any second like Young Chop, that was a dope current event too, because Young Chop was just on the internet, just bugging out. He got into it with Prince Jr. He had the shooting on his Ring camera on his front porch, people pulling up to his crib. Did he have a back and forth with Chief Keef? But people was like looking at him like he is losing his mind. Remember he had a live with King Von. King Von, tapped in with him. He's just like, yo, you all right, man? Stop, you bugging out. You tripping. Like, you all right, man? All right, we love you, gang. Like, he was going through some shit. It just seemed like then he ended up getting locked up. But anyway, All right. One more topic for battle rap, and then we'll go. Sorry, it's true mode, y'all. This one ain't a topic. I see this all over Twitter, and I think it's hilarious that everybody's being a good sport about it. I see Rock being a good sport about it. I see Surf joking on him. That's his friend, right? About it. Some tweet about, like your friend, made the wrong decision, something like that. A bunch of platforms posting it, but Rock on some wrestling shit. And as far as I remember, or I know, I think Tay Rock is a big wrestling fan, right? All right, so he steps into the ring. This looks like I guess some type of smaller wrestling event. I'm seeing a bunch of kids in the background. I don't know if this is a big thing that he's been into, like a new venture. I don't know if this is like a traditional league or like a pop-up event just to do something in the community for the kid. I really don't know the details of the wrestling. But fucking Rock gets in the ring with some Jordan 11s to do a wrestling bit. Like, I'm gonna check it out. Like I said, I'm glad everybody's being a good sport about it. And wrestling guys are definitely going to train Rock about that chop. Like he chops at the guy and he does like follow through forward. He chops and his body goes backwards. They're gonna train you, Rock. If you're gonna stay in wrestling, they're gonna train you, man. All right. You can't just battle rap doesn't transition to wrestling. All right? You could be one of the greatest battle rappers, you could be one of the worst wrestlers. The Jordan 11s is fucking killing me, B. Nah, we gotta take some time here for a second. The Jordan, yo, niggas be pulling up on wrestling matches with wrestling shoes and shit. Like, yo, you on some ghetto hood nigga shit. Especially if this is a paid booking. If Rock gets in the ring with Jordan motherfucker 11s, you know what I'm saying? You don't get on a football field with running. Well, I should say running, walking sneakers. You get on that bitch with like cleats. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you don't get on a basketball court with slippers. Like, and that's a hood nigga. Maybe that's his image in wrestling. That type of shit. They got a wife beater on, some fucking G's and Jordan 11s, B. Nah. Let's go. The kick was good. Yo, how old is Rock? Flipping around like that's a pretty good flip. I mean, we all come up doing that shit on the mattresses and all that. But yeah, that's a good flip at our age. But how old is Rock, man? Yo, Rock, and I know the rings are like designed in a way to absorb impact, whether jumping off of a top rope or you're being body slammed, they got like the springs and all that in them. But even still, man, I'm not doing no fucking flip on no terms or nothing. Like, shout out to Rock, still showing some athleticism here. That's dope. All right, let's go. Another one. See, this is my first time watching the whole clip. The whole shit that I see on this Twitter. I see 3 minutes and 44 seconds here. The one that I seen where I was just like, all right, I'm gonna pull it up. It's just the him jumping over the rope. That's the only piece I see. Now I'm watching the full thing for the first time now. This thing got a backflip too. Yeah, I'm not doing that at this point in life. I'm not hurting myself at all. Hell no. Hold on, wait, the backflip into the pin? Hold on, this nigga's talented. This nigga knows what he's doing? Is it just the jumping over the rope shit and everything else is solid? Yo, the nigga did a backflip right into a pin. That's like a special move. That's like a rock people's elbow type of shit. No, That should have been a finishing move. A backflip into a pin is crazy. Like, this nigga really knows what he's doing, son. Like, look, he knows how to roll off of the jumping out of the pin. Like, yo, did Rock train for this, or does he just watch a lot of wrestling? And is this Rock's first time ever wrestling? I'm this is not joking questions. Like, I feel like he knows a little bit of how to perform in that ring, B. Real talk. Oh, this is
my God. What am I doing?
Now hold the fuck up, son. Hold the fuck up, son. This nigga, yo, Rock. Speaking of other sports, do you play basketball, B? Yo, this nigga, look, he's parallel to the floor right there. Yo, this Superman still shot right here. Yo, you gotta print this out and frame it. Right here at this moment, frame this and put it on your wall, Rock. This nigga got hops. I think he could dunk on regulation right now. Look at this shit, son. Yeah, you throwing caution to the wind for your physical health, buddy. He's fully in mode. This nigga pulled a Superman over the top rope. I can't do it. Like, that's too much risk factor for me.
Oh my God.
Nah, the edits make it crazy.
What am I doing? Wrestling.
That makes this clip hilarious. You got a cut on his face from it, of this nigga really like having like a what do they call it? Like, let's say, for example, like if you're in church and you have not revelation. Is it revelation? It's another word for it. But like when your mind finally sets in, it's just like, yo, what the like, I now understand what life is about. Like, when something finally clicks in you, like, right, you wasn't thinking about that, knowing that you was gonna possibly be doing backflips and shit. Like, this nigga got in the car on the way home and said, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Nah, son. This is pure entertainment, B. This nigga gave us a piece of pure entertainment off the stage.
What the fuck am I doing?
Oh, shit. Don't second guess this shit now.
Yo. Nah. All jokes aside, if you watch closely, when his leg hits the side after he jumps off the top, there's like a quick like bend in this shit, like like it looks like he could have got up with a fractured leg. I'm laughing because he's good, right? We see him in the car making fun of himself, but this looked like it could have, like the way his leg hits that fucking side, that edge, B. Damn,
Don't second guess this shit now.
Yeah, yo, nah. Rock might be way, way younger than we think. This nigga might still be in his 20s or some shit, B. Like 3 nights ago, I swear to God on everything, like 3 days ago, I woke up with a random injury in my left leg, upper left leg. I get out of bed, I go to walk, and it's just like, oh, and then everything. I didn't sleep bad. I had a great sleep, great dream, everything. Woke up, got ready for the gym. It fucked up everything. It fucked me up on the treadmill. It fucked up my jump rope, everything. It lasted for like, it's gone now. It subsided. But I didn't do nothing but go to fucking sleep. At my age, you wake up with injuries for no fucking reason, B. For no fucking reason. For Rock to be able to Superman over these fucking ropes, smash his leg like that into 2 different pieces, and then get up and be able to fucking he's got some Wolverine shit going on, or he's really still in his 20s or some shit. Because I'd be in the emergency room right fucking now still if I came down on the edge of the fucking ring like this. Me, I'm too old for this shit.
What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. They picking him up. Nah. what if he was really injured right there? You still got more shit going on. Oh shit. What is that? What is this? A fucking falcon or some shit? What is that? Nah, Rock is still fighting, son. He's standing. Like, nah, this nigga's Wolverine. He's standing on them two legs after that shit. And then participates for catching the next 300-pound nigga coming over the top rope. Nah, so this nigga Rock is in the wrong profession, B. MMA, not boxing. This because we need to see it's about the full body shit, right? Flying around. MMA this nigga or wrestling this nigga right now, son. Extend this man a contract. And he's part of the catch.
They caught his ass.
Wow. I didn't know we were gonna spend this much time on this piece. Nah. The nigga caught dude, slammed him on the edge of the, and then it's like a bee stung him. The nigga Rock on some typical hood shit tried to steal him when he wasn't looking. They didn't try, he did. He stole nigga in his shoulder when he wasn't. Dude just turned like the Terminator. This shit really is. I promise you, yo, if this nigga Rock has a pay-per-view and it's anything like this, I probably would pay for it. Yo, oh Lord, this nigga fucking Rock really tried to steal this nigga from the corner of the camera. Look, Rock know how to fall like he knocked out. Look.
Yeah, I know.
Oh shit.
You should have seen the last fight.
They professionals. Oh yeah.
You hear the people in the background? It says shit. They professionals.
Oh yeah, tag.
Is Rock still in?
All in.
Where's Rock at? Oh shit. It's up. It's up over there. Oh, Rock over here is stealing nigga. Yeah, he put the Jordan 11 on, son. Oh, take it with the 11. He jumping nigga. Oh shit. That was a good move. Shit. That was a good move. This guy won't stay down. This is the same guy that Rock pinned earlier after the backflip pin, right? And this guy he's one of the Superman characters in this shit or something. Like, this motherfucker won't stay down. Uh-oh, Rock back here. Oh, hell no. I thought he was gonna go to the top rope, but the second rope is still too much for me. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, this nigga Rock is athletic, B. Oh my God, this nigga can't catch a pin for nothing, son. Yo, let him live. He can't get a pin for nothing on this fucking red shorts guy, B. Now he gotta take the chair to the back after he did the Tower of Christ second buckle pin joint. What's going on, B? Oh man,
What am I doing? Wrestling.
What
the fuck am I doing?
Don't second guess this shit now.
This nigga dead.
Edit is crazy. Oh. Now he gets the backflip now. Oh, now they picking on Rock. He would have slammed him on top of Rock. I was like, nah, that could shit. Like Rock is not a big guy. Like, come on. They do a backflip on both of them? Get up, Rock. Yo. I don't give a fuck. Can't nobody tell me different. Rock did a good job. No trolling, no joking. So he did a good job. So because I can't do half of that shit, and I damn sure ain't trying half of that shit. He actually, from an acting standpoint, the maneuvers, the moves, the trying to sell the punches and the kicks and everything, he did a good job, man. On a wrestling amateur level, he did a good job. It's just so many funny pieces in there because we're watching it like as a Rock and you're just out of your lane, like you're a battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? But nah, that was an entertaining clip to bring up there. Okay. All right, let's move on. Sorry, it's true mode. Little Durk. That's some new paperwork. Hit Little Durk's docket. Some updates that are now flying to social media platforms. Some of them got it right, some of them got it wrong. But we got the paperwork here. We're gonna read it and we're gonna explain a little bit of what this could mean. Because his lawyers are doing a job, man. He's got Drew Finland. He's got what's his name that was with Young Thug as well. Oh shit, I'm going fucking blank. What's dude's name? Brian Steele. He's got Brian Steele on his shit. He's got some high paid, expensive lawyers. So you expect all different types of angles and fights as a defense happening, leading towards trial. And you pull on any loose strings that you can. I'm not trying to say that this is thin and weak. Do I see it going anywhere? Well, let's read it first. Okay. We got defendant Dirk Banks versus the United States. Of course, defendant Dirk Banks ex parte application. This isn't even the full motion or the motion yet, right? It's an application for a briefing and hearing schedule. Link up. Let's get up in there and let's talk some concerns or let's talk some directions that the defense wants to go in, pretty much. A motion filing date. This is the scheduled proposal, June 26th. That was 2 days ago, so that was Friday, right? Proposed opposition due date, July 6th. Proposed reply due date, the 13th. And then proposed hearing date, the 27th. That's the schedule being laid out for this motion filing. And this is the application for it, okay? All right, defendant Dirk Banks through his counsel record, Drew Finland, Marissa Goldberg, Brian Steele, and Christy O'Connor. He's got an all-star team. Hereby applies to this court for an order setting the briefing and hearing schedule on defendant Dirk Banks' motion. It's a schedule for the motion, once again, to sever counts or in the alternative to dismiss the third superseding indictment on speedy trial grounds as follows. Now, this is why I say we got to be careful with the actual wording and what this piece of paperwork is and this update is. If you see it says defendant Banks motion to sever counts, not sever from his co-defendants. We saw that like OTF Didi, and I think a couple of people tried that multiple times so far, of the severing of the defendants from each other. It's not necessarily some rat and shit or whatever turning on your homies. It's just trying to make it harder for the prosecution having certain reasons to say why this particular defendant or that might have even a different attorney, my client, he shouldn't be a part of this case. If you want to try them on something separate, then we do that. And being able to sever from your co-defendants sometimes removes even things that the prosecution needs to keep together. Like let's say, for example, a RICO. You know what I'm saying? So severing is sometimes very, very tactical. It doesn't mean that the defendants is up to anything shady amongst each other. Okay, but this is not that. This is to sever counts. So in your charges, you have like count 1, conspiracy to sell guns. Count 2, conspiracy for murder. Count 3, you know what I'm saying? Conspiracy for drug trafficking. Okay. So he's trying to sever some of the counts that's in the indictment. Then it says, or in the alternative. So one or the other, meaning that we want to sever from some of the counts that we are being charged with, or in the alternative, if not, we are looking for a dismissal of the third superseding indictment on speedy trial grounds. Okay, so let's break down that last piece. Dismiss the third superseding indictment. Remember, people, even though this is the third superseding indictment, if you get the most current indictment tossed, that waives everything. It's not like, it doesn't like the government files indictment one and then they come back with more shit and they do a superseding indictment and then they come back with more shit and then you get your third superseding indictment. And then, you know, from the defense side, Dirk and his lawyers, they knock down superseding indictment number 3. Then it falls back down to superseding indictment number 2. Then if they knock that down, it falls back down to the original indictment. It doesn't work that way. If you knock down the third, you knock down everything. Okay, so it's about the current indictment. And the grounds that he's going for is based on speedy trial. Okay, that's like, to me, administrative court procedural stuff. Wouldn't have much to do with the occurrences and what he's actually being charged with, what happened allegedly in the street. You know, like it's a technicality, it seems like. speedy trial grounds as follows. Motion following day, and this is the schedule once again. So this application is based on the following declaration of counsel. All right, we don't need that. Once again, Christy O'Connor is part of his defense team. The speedy trial. I have met and conferred with government counsel regarding a briefing and hearing schedule on this motion. The government suggested the following schedule, which is agreeable to the defense. Once again, these pieces and the dates. And that's it. Okay, so now it's going around the internet. Some of these social media sites, they got it pretty much accurate. Like, for example, my mixtape says Lil Durk's legal team files motion to have his charges separated from the rest of the case, okay, or to dismiss case entirely. So that's accurate. How do you go about this, or what would make sense from a legal defense standpoint, whether he actually gets this or not? For example, it's never been alleged that Dirk was on the scene of the actual shooting. It's being alleged that he caught that private flight with one or two of his co-defendants and flew into Cali. And he's out there and he's on the ground. And he's coordinating the credit card thing, Dick's Sporting Goods and all that. There's a lot of allegations that obviously tie him to this overall murder for hire. But as far as it being carried out, it's not alleged that he's a shooter. And I don't think it's been alleged that he was in the tracking or the alleged stalking car either. You know, because it was alleged to have either 2 or 3 cars, of which some were tracking and following Quando, and the other ones the other car that had the shooters in it, allegedly. Right. So what would be like something as it pertains specifically to this case that you would try to sever from? Well, one of the charges in the counts, I believe, is like stalking, you know, conspiracy stalking, which then it leads to the infliction of bodily harm. Okay, well, if you don't have any evidence or proof that he's in those cars, and if you don't have any evidence and proof of him stalking Quando Rondo in that truck, you know, now they did say things like it was told to him by a party that was already in LA. That's what people think is like allegedly Brick Baby, you know, allegedly. And then they had the drop on his hotel, then they followed him from there, and you know, all of that back and forth. But I haven't seen specific allegations that I remember in the indictments that say Little Dirk is the one that went to the hotel. And at that point, you would have to tell me that you can still establish stalking simply by coordinating the whereabouts of your potential target. But the actual physical locations of things, I don't think Dirk has been placed at these locations. Almost as if he's somewhere else in California just masterminding it. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily on the ground at the locations. The other piece from a stalking standpoint, and I'm just using that one because it's the most logical, would be what Dirk actually has lyrics that I think they try to use, which was a shooting in Georgia after, I believe, one of Quando Rondo's shows at a gas station. And then Dirk, you know, he raps. You see how fast they ran out of Atlanta or whatever. You pull up at your shows and all that type of shit. They're using the lyrics. And a lot of people, you know, outside of the courtrooms already believe that those lyrics apply to what they sounded like they applied to that Quando Rondo shooting situation in Georgia. So stuff like that would attribute to like stalking. Okay, now if I can sever a count of stalking, you know, that maybe puts me in a position to say, like, if I could knock down stalking based on technicalities, like proximity wise, I wasn't there, I wasn't on location, I'm not even being charged with that, there's no evidence for that. Then if I'm not doing that, then how am I part of all this mastermind that you're saying that I'm doing? Well, the government, of course, goes towards things like, well, we got these text messages, we got this credit card swipe at Dick's Sporting Goods. You know, you allegedly on text message saying don't book no flights in my name, shit like that. So there's counterpunches on both sides. But if we just think about severing counts, that's the only thing that comes to mind that makes sense. The example of like the stalking, all the other stuff is painting him as a picture as a mastermind, and he's going to have to go to trial for that. You're not going to be able to knock that down here in these in those motions as those come across. I don't see it. I don't see it. But his defense is doing what they're supposed to be doing, fighting. Okay. All right. Next up, what do we got? We got Faison. So he does an interview with Tasha K. Okay. Let's play this since we covered his situation when he was in court and he spoke out to the courts about him not having, what was it, the $2,400 a month to pay his BM for child support. And we looked at it from both perspectives, saying that, you know, when you have these type of toxic relationships, you can't get blood from a stone. So it's better if he's outside working than he is, you know, in jail. But the BM said something to the effect of, he already told me you're not going to get a dime from me. And that's when men sometimes will try to work off the books. They're going to try to tell the courts they don't have any money. Even if they may really not have the money, you know what I'm saying? It could be being honest, but they also could be like just purely ducking child support, you know, and they've obviously had these type of arguments as per what she said, the BM. So now that he's out, let's see what he's telling Tasha K. All right.
Homeless.
Since May?
I'm sorry to hear that. Now, so you don't have any means to set your situation back up? Like you don't have any shows scheduled or anything like that?
Listen to me. I am resilient. So that's not the focus. The focus.
My bad. I'm talking on mute. My bad. I'm gonna say it again. I want to pick little small pieces out of this in between. And maybe it's a reach, but his response to how long he's been homeless, we're at the end of June right now. He says since May, something like. I just feel like if it was just last month, you know that. He's looking around like he's collecting his thoughts as if he wasn't prepared for that answer right there or that question. You know, so that would loan towards the side of just like somebody using public platforms to drive his court type of narratives. Like, I'm homeless and I don't have any money. I don't know. I just feel like he handled that question, you know, a little oddly, a little delayed for somebody that if it just started just now, just recently, like last month, you know, if it was like 3 years ago, you might have to think about like, oh, was that February? Was that April? 2023? I forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's see what else he's saying.
Point is that's not the trip, because I got friends and they're like, yo, man, come whoop. I didn't help so many people out all my life. They're like, yo, do this, yo, bruh. So I got friends with houses, but a home. My daughter had a home where she had a whole where she grew. Her marking was on the wall, so it's like we had to get rid of that because the income was jacked up, and the movie income is jacked up.
I just want y'all to be able to co-parent and raise that daughter of yours. She's gorgeous. She seems very
because she is being coached by some monkey bitch or some monkey nigga that is a pimp. Where she lives at, which I'm very scared of, is Lakeland, Florida. Is out very high traffic. It's very high traffic for what?
They have a lot of sex trafficking going on around
there. You go.
Why?
Nah, that ain't working with me. Where somebody ends up living. Now, if you have the financial means to put yourself in the best zip codes and the best areas, then anybody's going to do that, right? Not everybody is in that financial spot. You know, so you're saying that she lives in an area that is known for high sex trafficking. that means that she's being sex trafficked. That's not how that fucking works. You know what I'm saying? There's residents close by Hunts Point. That means they're all the women there are prostitutes. That's not how that goes. You know? Like certain people live in drug infested neighborhoods right off their porch, right in front of their stoop. Niggas is hustling. That means that the person that living in the crib right here is a drug dealer or a drug addict. No, that's not how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So that's a corny narrative to try to drive towards your BM. I'd rather you just come out and say she's not fit to be a mother of my daughter and I should have custody because she's into sex trafficking or she's into prostitution or whatever. You guys are already in this legal battle and you just came out of jail behind the shit. You might as well say that. Don't try to prove a point saying that she's not a fit mother because of her crib happens to be close to illegal activity. That don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta do better than that.
If your daughter, if the mom is being trafficked and all this, why you won't get full custody of your?
And see, and Tasha goes all the way to the top of the food chain with it. She says, if your daughter's mom is being sex trafficked, that's not even what Faison said. He said the location. Tasha fucking upgraded and said, well, if she's being sex trafficked, say yes, no, Faison. Like now you're here with Tasha K.
Your daughter.
That's what I'm trying to do.
But you can't do that if you're homeless, Faison.
You know how many friends I got with houses?
Judge not gonna let no baby come stay if they ain't got no permanent resident.
Let me tell you something.
I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just telling you.
No, all this is a process, and all this is gonna be done. I'm confident we gonna take care of this in court. So my daughter gonna be with me for a long time.
How long have you?
Yeah, I mean, who knows their personal business of who's a best fitting parent or if both of them are fitting to co-parent or whatever. Who knows? I don't know that obviously behind the scenes, but you sound foolish talking about I got friends that have homes. I should have custody. Tasha K is 100% right there. Like what judge wants to? So what? If you're homeless and you're jumping around and you don't have any stability in a residence or a roof over your head, why should I take this little girl and put her with you? So what? You could be in and out of backseat cars, sleeping in hotels, not even hotels, motels and shit with this little girl, especially if I'm taking her out of an established permanent home, even if the home happens to be in a bad neighborhood or a place that has sex trafficking around it. Well, how many little kids grow up in shitty neighborhoods or in the projects or in gang infested neighborhoods or where there's shootings and killings and drugs and prostitution all day fucking long? Millions of fucking kids, right? But you can't take the kid necessarily and say like, I'd rather them be in and out of motels now. You know what I'm saying? Like for a guy that just came out of jail saying that he don't got $2,400 a month and give him custody. Of course, if I'm a judge, I would rather say, all right, well, if we have two established and capable parents, one of them lives where the front of the house is getting shot up every day, and the other one lives in a beautiful zip code, better school system, everything else financially, and the back history between you, the adult and the child, everything looks good, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to consider that, of course, if I'm the judge. Right. But even if the circumstances, sex trafficking is in this neighborhood, very, very heavy. Do I want that? Do I want you to live there? Or do I want you in and out of fucking motels and running around with an adult that says, I don't have a crib right now, but I have friends that own homes? I'm just saying. I think he's burning himself a little bit in some of the stuff he's saying on such a big platform like Tasha K. And I think he's in a spot. He very, very much may be in a bad financial position. But at the same token, I also think that he's forcing himself to put things on the line publicly and legally as to him not having shit so that he doesn't get dragged for child support by his BM. So now he has to say, I don't got no money and I don't got no residence, even if you do have some means. So he's like going back and forth between what can I say to prevent my BM from attacking me and getting money out of me? But at the same time, what can I say to try to get custody of my child? I have friends with homes. Like he's in a spot. You see it? All right. Two more topics. Let's do this one real quick with Kanye West. Everybody up here, especially if you follow the Sorry Shoe podcast from the RBE channel side before we migrated last year, Y'all know I don't care for Kanye West at all. I don't like him as a person. But this one right here, I separate from my personal feelings towards him as a man. And let's talk about what's going on with this child involved. So
I told her.
Let me pause this because we've already seen, I believe that this is an older clip, but they're bringing it back and putting it alongside all this news of his daughter Northwest popping out at like I don't know, it's like a fashion show or something like that. And it was the way people were acting around her at her age and also her look, I guess, that is creating all the headlines. So look at this. Ye Rage calls uncaring Kim Disney destroying my 13-year-old baby to emo with piercings all over her face.
Just got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing. I said it's never again. I am her father. I know y'all don't respect fathers and the idea of family, and media tries to promote something. I said I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok, to be used by Disney. I have a say-so. And then when people say, oh, they're going to use this for you in court, I didn't have a say-so on whether or not they went to Sierra Canyon. Most men do not, there's no such thing as 50-50 custody with in society today. That's not even, it always leans towards the mom. But right now, and I'm happy that you guys got to see just a small piece of what I dealt with. You understand what I'm saying? Just got off the phone with Kim. I told her.
Do know a lot of men that's been held back over this type of BS. But look at some of the social media reactions, people. All right, so you got this one. Let's start here. You got Skepta has called out people using Northwest after a number of men clamored to get photos with her. West, who turned 13 on June 15th, a couple weeks ago, debuted a bold pink or punk-inspired aesthetic at the Vetements Spring Summer 2027 show during Paris Fashion Week. Yeah, so yeah, it was a fashion show. All right, let's see this. Yeah, who is this taking this picture with her? That's purely somebody saying, hey, this is Kanye West's daughter. Let me get a picture. You fucking lame for that. I do agree. I would walk right past her on the street. I wouldn't even recognize her. I don't have a reason to follow Kim and Kanye's daughter. You know, I don't know nothing about no music or nothing like that. I know they have a child named Northwest. Before pulling up this video right here, if I walk past on the street, I wouldn't know, like, oh, that's Kanye. I wouldn't know, you know. But let's continue. Grown men taking pics with Northwest for clout is crazy. Years ago, people called Kanye West crazy for speaking out about his concerns over his kids and the spotlight. Looking at some of these recent videos involving Northwest, a lot of people are starting to ask if he was seeing something others dismissed. What do y'all think? Was Kanye overreacting, or was he trying to protect his daughter?
Yeah, this shit right here, bruh. This shit right here. This is what I wanted to get to. Not gonna lie, bruh. You should piss me off, gang. Northwest is only 13. Grown men are already putting their hands around her shoulders for photos. Fame at such a young age is unsettling. Kim and Kanye should do better parenting. Who the fuck is this nigga? No, nigga. No, bitch ass nigga. Nah, bitch ass nigga. On my mama and them. You cake ass nigga. On my mama and them. On everything I love. On everything I love. It's no reason. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Nigga. Couldn't have been me. Nigga, who don't get your cool ass, nigga? You don't get your cool ass the fuck. Got a cigarette?
I mean, just think about it if it's your daughter. You know, like, I'm not saying that there's anything obscene or anything wild or, you know what I'm saying, that these guys are doing. It's just about the cultivation of this 13-year-old into a lifestyle that she may not be ready for, or she may not be properly getting coached through. And then, like I suggested earlier, I don't even know why she has a reason to be going into that. Now, if she's one of these young stars that's singing or rapping or something, right, that got her all on the map, then yeah, she got to have a team around her cultivating that and helping her grow through this celebrity lifestyle. But it just feels like this is just, oh, that's Kim K's or Kanye's daughter, and then her style of expression, which she's welcome to and which I don't got a problem with. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a young age, it's drawing about all the questions. So when we see the pictures of her going around, and they said she just turned 13 like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So this little 13-year-old girl with the two piercings on her lips, pierced nose, it looks like the eye over here, whatever, all the pierced face and all that. The question really just comes down to, at what age can you give the rope to a child? This is still a child to have certain levels of self-expression. Now, that's where it becomes, I think, a little dicey. Okay. I like to always use the example of why Boosie came under fire, because he disagreed publicly with Dwayne Wade and their decisions around, I believe, the child's private parts getting chopped off or whatever, right? Converting to a different gender, or sometimes people don't even want to say woman, man. They just want to say a human being. Like, I don't know, like the Raven Simones of the world. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I don't know. I don't want to offend nobody, right? But this is why some people look at that, because they say, listen, even if as a parent or as a society, we want to support people's self-expression or their sexuality choices or their physical choices or whatever, that's fine. But at what age should we hold off and say, just like, for example, with tattoos, right? If you walk into a legitimate that's really following the rules, I believe in most states, right, and you try to get a tattoo, if you don't have a adult there, a guardian to sign off on it, they won't do it, because it's permanent. It's permanent. If you try to walk into a tattoo parlor at the age 13, they're gonna say, where's the guardian to sign this piece of paper, or else I'm not doing it. You know, I don't need somebody coming back to me with a problem. It's permanent. You know, no different than chopping off your manhood, or even piercings, you know, leaving holes in your face or certain things, or, you know, so these type of decisions shouldn't be just solely left up to it, because she just turned 13, a 12-year-old or however. It shouldn't solely be left up to that. If you endorse certain decisions with your child, you as a parent are welcome to do that. You are, but we hope that it's the guardian or the adult, the more person that's experienced about life, that is driving that decision than hopefully the child. I don't even see Kim K or anybody there. You know, all I see is this girl at Paris Fashion Week or whatever with piercings on her face, and she just turned 13 years old. And now you got all these other cameras and celebrities and people draping around her. And it's like a lifestyle that I don't even know if you understand yet. How could you? You know, so I got to side with the father on this one, 100%. Y'all know I don't fuck with Kanye, but I got to side with him on this one. Like, you know, that's why he was putting it out there like they're doing things. I don't even want my daughter on social media. Yeah, and I can relate. I can relate. You know what I'm saying? My kids don't got no Instagram. That's my choice. If they came to me right now, I make the decision for them and say, just like my daughter. My daughter, I'm not going to say their ages, but they both young, right? My daughter has had her cell phone taken from her like 3 or 4 different times. Like right now, she doesn't have it. The very first time she got her cell phone taken, because we look through their phones every once in a while, periodically. She was in a group chat with her friends, but there was a couple people in the group chat, she didn't know who they were. Right. It could have been other children, but she didn't know who it was. But she's in there talking how you would talk to your friends amongst people that you don't know. It could have been innocent. It could have been friends of a friends that are the same age, but it could also be, you just never know. So that's a teachable moment. You're not responsible yet to even know that. I need to identify who those people are. Like when I get text messages, like let's say somebody's putting together a birthday party, and somebody sends out a text message that's got 15 people on it. You know, I could see people on it that I know. Obviously, the original sender I know, but then there's not names. There's just the phone number as some of these other people. I'm not replying in there with anything personal if I reply at all. If I want to reply, normally I'll hit the person separate. And if I do want to do a group reply, it's nothing personal in there. It's probably just like, oh, congratulations, that I would put in a group chat like that. My daughter, my youngin, isn't old enough to understand the potential dangers in that yet. So, all right, it's time to take the phone. You know, you have to get to a certain level of maturity and understanding and world type of understanding to save yourself or protect yourself. And you don't have that yet. Every move that you make is only being protected by mommy and daddy. We're making all the protective decisions for you because you're not ready to make them for yourself yet. That's the person that goes and gets the tattoo or the piercings or chops off their manhood. I don't know if you're old enough to do that yet, is the point. So this whole thing with this little girl that's being thrust into this world because of who her mommy and daddy is, I personally disagree with it, and I wouldn't have it for mine. And I can't be mad at Kanye as a father complaining about this. I don't want to cut on TV or pick up my phone and scroll and see my daughter with a bunch of grown men arms draped around her because she's out of some fashion show. She just turned 13. I wouldn't be with it either. All right. Last but not least, academics. He's claiming that a lot of Drake's problems has Jay-Z behind the scenes pulling the strings. Like, he's the one that's initiating some of this, and he's the reason behind some of these beefs. We're going to play the clip itself, but let's check the article. DJ Academics believes all. He said all? All? As much problem, that gets a reaction out of me from the jump. As many fucking problems as Drake got over other people's women and... All right. But then again, it's academics, you know, his homegirl, you know, as far as their bromance. Believes all of Drake's beefs are because of Jay-Z. Okay. Drake has more hip-hop beefs to his name than most rappers out there. And it seems like the biggest one on his plate right now is Jay-Z. If we're going to call this a beef, I just call it a back and forth. It's Jay-Z. They traded shots via the new Iceman album and Ho's Roots Picnic freestyle. And it's led many folks to look back at their history. DJ Academics recently took a step further on his live stream and claimed all of Drizzy's beefs, Meek Mill, Pusha T, and Kendrick Lamar among them, go back to Rock Nation Mogul. Okay, let's play the clip.
If you don't know who's on the other side, it's Jay-Z, nigga. The fuck? It's Jay-Z controlling a whole bunch of niggas. Charlamagne, Kendrick, Pusha T. Like, yo, I don't know if y'all realize, it's always been Drake. Yo, I got to keep it a beat with y'all. It's always been Drake and Jay-Z. The other niggas just are underneath, bro. This is like, finally you're fighting the final boss. Kendrick, you'll even hear some of these guys admit, yeah, Jay-Z been telling niggas what to respond to, what not to. You're like, huh? Exactly. So it's always been Drake and Jay-Z. So the Kendrick, pawn. Pusha T, pawn. Meek, come on. He's not even on a chessboard. He's just there. Like, he's just, okay. They're just, everything falls under Jay-Z, bro. Okay? We got Drake and Jay-Z. That's it.
So as much as academics be wilding over how much let me be respectful. He's running behind Drake. It's just Drake. There's Drake that Drake could do no wrong. What he's saying right there though could be true. Just to keep it 1,000. Like, I could relate to that to a degree within RBE and URL. I'll say allegedly. You know how many people have come at me or have dissed RBE off the strength of a different company? Of course. 100%. Some of the biggest names, right? Like, let's say how he mentions Kendrick or Pusha T, some of the biggest names. Some of those biggest names have come at RBE because of other people. And some of those people were actually told what to say, when to say, what not to say, do this, tweet this, interview this topic, want that. And I have it all told to me, documents behind some of this stuff. People admitting to it, all types of shit. So that really, really does happen, where you gotta look at it like, all right, it's really this league owner and that league owner, or this league owner and these couple league owners that really have this. And then that in that type of scenario, I would be the Drake, so to speak, meaning that I'm the more public one that's saying things, and I don't mind outing people, or I'll put it in my lyrics or my songs or whatever. And then these other people get a chance to play Jay-Z by being quiet a lot, but behind the scenes pulling certain strings. Okay. And then when you do come out and you say something, people want to act like you're innocent because it's the first time they heard you verbally say something yourself in X amount of time. But this whole time you've been speaking in a different way. It hasn't been verbal. You've been pulling the strings and doing the actions behind the scenes, allegedly. So I will always say, y'all, Jay-Z is the GOAT to me of hip hop. But at the same time, I will always say Jay-Z ain't no angel. I would never believe that. You won't even ever see me being like 5% of what Academics is towards Drake. Like Academics, especially now that he got his OVO chain, you're never going to see him say, I ain't gonna lie, I could see Drake possibly doing that. He's not going to do it. He's got his chain. It's over. He's married in. Everything, bias isn't even the word. I could never say that for Jay-Z. I don't think everything between him and Dame is clean. Everything between him and Rockefeller, the breakup and the splitting of some of the artists or the company and certain legal positions. I don't believe that everything he's done is clean or that he's an angel. I don't think that you can get into those rooms or get to that level without having some dirt in your closet. So it just is what it is. This whole thing though with Drake and Jay-Z, it's still warranted because as much as we can say Jay-Z was doing it on a level way before Drake got here, Drake still came and did what he did. It's just like, okay, this company was first, but then when RBE came and they showed a big impact. So you just can't take that from Drake. Drake came and he turns into the record wise and numbers wise, the next Michael Jackson and shit. It is what it is. So I think that definitely could create a level of competition between, the original king and now this newer era king. And sure, they've done songs together. That was like Pound Cake, and I'm sure they've shaken hands and been friends at times and smiled in each other's faces. But they also have something between them that was going to be there whether they created it or not. And like I said, that's the competitive element. Now, when you take competition and then you go past that and you start getting into dirty tactics, that's a different story. That's where you start saying shit like, wait, damn, did Pusha T or did somebody really give Drake's business of like his secret child at the time behind his back? Or so, like competition is competition, but shady shit, like you're trying to tear me down or hurt me or stop me from eating or whatever, it's a whole different ball game. And I don't put that past the relationship or the situation between Drake and Jay-Z. I don't. So in this particular case, logically, I understand what he's saying. I just am not willing to put it in a way where Academics are saying as if, oh no, it's fact. He's saying all these hypothetical, or you just got to tell us the situations. All right. And then we'll be real about it and say, oh, that right there. Yeah, that I get it. I can see it now. That right there is Jay-Z stepping on Drake. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you can't just throw it and see if it sticks just because you feel like he's in a powerful position to, for example, make the decision of who's going to be on the Super Bowl. Jay-Z already went through that. And then we broke down details about that too and see like, oh no, it's not just Jay-Z. And then technically Kendrick Lamar really is the best choice over Lil Wayne or anyone else at that time for the Super Bowl, the halftime Super Bowl show. But if you're in Drake's shoes, you say, oh, no. Jay-Z, this is an attack, So it is what it is. All right, we done. Appreciate everybody for hanging around, especially if you did all the Sorry Is True topics as well. We led with battle rap. So this particular full episode will upload to the RBE channel. And some of the Sorry Is True clips will end up on the Sorry Is True podcast channel. Y'all know how we do now. If we lead with Sorry Is True topics, the full episode will be on that channel. And vice versa. If we leave with battle rap, it'll be on the RBE channel. Okay. So everybody, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. And we'll be back soon. I'll catch y'all in a second.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I drop it, connected to block, learn Tetris.
One of the toughest characters ever to bulldog his way into the house.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them.